Hi friends, my name is Miss Sossman. I am your art teacher here at Rocky River. So I wanted to give you a quick tour of our classroom so you can see what all we have here. So I'm gonna turn my camera around real quick. When you come to the art room, you will stop at this stop sign right here. You see that blue square? That's where your line leader will stop, and your teacher will check in with me here at the door and go over whatever things we need to talk about. And then you will walk into the art classroom. You will go directly to your table, find your chair, and sit down. You will notice that every table has a shape and a color. So this is a red octagon, purple rectangle, blue circle, green triangle, yellow square, pink trapezoid, and the orange hexagon. So you will be assigned a table with a color, and you'll also be assigned a chair number, either 1, 2, 3, or 4. The chair numbers are on the back. Those seats don't change until I tell you to change them. So if I tell you that's your seat on the first day of art class, that's your seat on the second day, the third day, the fourth day, and so on, unless I tell you to find a new seat. So once you've come in and sat down, then I will come in and get things started with you. Okay, so now let's do a little tour of supplies in the room. We'll start here. There's a trash can here by the door next to our paper towel, so you can dry your hands here. Just take 1 or 2 paper towels, dry your hands, and then throw it in the trash. Here are pencils. Dull means it needs to be sharpened. Like this, for example, that is a dull pencil. It needs to be sharpened. So dull means it needs to be sharpened. Sharp means it's ready to draw. So whenever you need pencils, they are right here. Spray bottles for cleaning are there. And there's rags. We can also use paper towels. You can see I have all our markers and crayons lined up down the counter here, sorted by color. So anytime you need one of these colors, you can come borrow whatever you need. Whenever we use supplies, I have a bucket here labeled dirty, and you can see I've just been using it to clean. So I have a dirty bucket right here. You'll put your used supplies in the dirty bucket so that I can sanitize them and clean them. So if you use a marker, a crayon, a pencil, anything, it goes in this bucket so that I can sanitize it and clean it. That being said, this sink is for adult use only, adult sink only. This sink leaks. You can see it's dripping now. This sink leaks, and it also will spray out into the floor, so we use this for adults only. So you guys cannot use that sink. However, there are plenty of sinks that you can use. There's a sink here, sink there, and a sink over there. Any of these sinks that have a green stool at them are the sinks you can use for washing your hands. There's soap at each sink. In the water, you just pull to turn it on, and then push to turn it off, and that's it. Glue supplies are back here, so glue sticks and glue bottles are there. Scissors are here as well. Painting supplies are in this back corner, and I will go over the specifics of each material as we use them. I just want to kind of give you a quick tour. So here's more of the counter. This is my paper cutter. Please do not ever touch this. You can see it has a very sharp blade that will cut you. I've cut my finger on it a few times over the years, but please do not touch this. I lock it. It needs to stay locked and keep your hands off. This is our paper shelf. I'll add colors to this throughout the year, but there's usually white. Always our white drawing paper is right here. And then all the colors will be on the shelf as well. So when I tell you to go get something from the paper shelf, that's what I'm talking about. These are your teacher folders. So this is where we store your artwork, and whenever I tell you to put something in your class folder, that's what these are right there. So your artwork gets stored in those. This is our color theory wall. We will use this a lot, and by the time you leave Rocky River, you will know all of this stuff out there. You'll know all about these color theories, about the color wheel, warm and cool colors, analogous colors, primary colors, all of those things. Okay, here's kind of a resource area. My smart board there. We'll use this a lot. Just about every time you come to art, we'll use the smart board. So we'll learn all about that. Here's our carpet. This year we have 2 carpets so you guys can spread out and give yourselves a little bit of room sitting on the carpet. When we sit on the carpet, we keep our hands and our feet to ourselves. Here's a little bit more of the room. You can see there's a window. I do have a sign here if you're ever at recess. It says, we're looking at it backwards, it says, please stay off the windows. That's because if you guys are outside of recess and I'm in here teaching and there's somebody knocking on the window or trying to look in, then it's distracting to the kids who are in here. So please stay off the windows if you're outside playing, because I like to keep my windows open so we can see. All right, and we have a STEAM area. I'll go over that when it comes time to use it. My bookshelf, oh, these books are a mess. I think I'm gonna have to fix that, but books are here. This is my desk and my teacher area. There's not really any need for you guys to come back here. That's where I kind of have all my stuff. There is a smaller trash can there you're welcome to use. Recycle bin for paper, plastics can go in there. There's hand sanitizer right here for you guys. There are tissues, and then sometimes when we hand out papers, people haven't written their name on them. Those no-name papers will be in this box right here. All right, and then there is our flag, and our I can statements will be on the board. Our art letters right here. These are our sound monitoring system. So I use that if you guys are getting too loud. Like if class is just talking too much, I will give you a warning, say that's your warning, and you'll lose an A. That's if your class is too loud. Then if you go back to working, you're doing great, then great, all is well. But if you start talking, or you're loud, or you're moving from table to table, or you're not on task doing what you're supposed to do, then I'll give another warning and you will lose an R. Then if you go back to working, again, that's great. I love it. We'll just keep doing that. But if you continue talking and you get loud again, or you're moving from table to table, you're gonna lose a T. And oh, that means you have silent art, which means you cannot talk while you're working. And I like for you to be able to talk quietly while you're working with your friends in art class. It's such a bummer if you cannot talk to your friends. So we are going to practice using a level 1, which is a nice quiet talk, just like this, like you're talking to your friends, so that we can all stay with all our letters turned around and getting to talk while we are working. You can see the drying racks here. If you have had art with me before, you can see the drying racks are in the same spot they've always been, but I painted them this year to kind of make it easier for us to find where our artwork should go. So we have a blue shelf, a yellow shelf, and a red shelf, which are, of course, our 3 primary colors. Okay, so that is a tour of the art room. So next we're going to go over the art room expectations. One more thing, when it is time to leave the art class, I know it's tempted to go right to the door right there, but it just gets kind of congested and not very safe. So trying to be responsible, respectful, and safe, we line up on these green lines. You can see I have a line goes all the way back to the back door. Line leader lines up right here. Then each person behind them has a green line where you guys can just stand there one behind the other and wait for your teacher to come pick you up. The Rocky River School expectations are to be responsible, be respectful, and to be safe. Let's see what that means inside the art room. When I ask you to be responsible in the art room, that means things like listening and following directions so you know what to do, cleaning up your materials when you are finished with a project, and then always trying to do your best. If you are doing your best, then you are being responsible. When I ask you to be respectful, I want you to be respectful of yourself, others, and the art room and materials. So when you're being respectful of yourself, I want you to think positive things about yourself. Things like, I can do it. I am good at this. I can do my best.
When we're being respectful to others, we're going to use kind words with each other and kind hands to each other. So we're going to say positive things to one another, encouraging one another and helping each other out. And being respectful of the art room and materials means using materials the way they're supposed to be used. So pencils will be used for drawing on your paper, paint for painting on your paper. We're not going to draw on the table or on the furniture or on each other. We're not going to use our scissors to cut our hair. We're going to use our scissors for cutting the paper and being respectful of the supplies and how they're meant to be used. Being safe in the art room is probably one of the most important things for you to do in this room. We walk everywhere we go. There's a lot of movement in here when you're getting supplies, getting pencils, getting crayons, getting paper, taking things to the sink. It's just super important that we walk everywhere we go. If you spill something, it's not a big deal. If you drop water, if you drop crayons or markers, that's fine with me, but you have to clean it up right away. These floors are very slippery. There you can see they're nice and shiny after they've just been polished. So it is very easy for someone to fall either on a crayon or on a pencil or on a wet spot. So be sure we clean up spills right away. The last part of being safe is stay inside your bubble. Now I want you to all hold your arms out beside you and then move them up and down as if you're making a bubble around yourself. That bubble is called your personal space. So if you are each staying inside your personal space, then we shouldn't have any problems with friends poking each other with pencils or hitting or kicking each other. If we're staying inside our bubble, then we are protected and safe. There are two more things I want to talk to you about that are going to help us have a super year in the art room. The first is having a positive attitude. You'll see that having a positive attitude just changes your perspective and helps everything go better. So if you're frustrated with something you've drawn, you don't like it, instead of talking about how terrible it is or wadding it up and throw away, look at it as an opportunity to turn it into something new or to do something you thought you couldn't do before. Use it as a positive. Turn it into something good and be creative. I want you making your own artwork, using that smart little brain of yours and doing your very best and coming up with lots of beautiful and creative artwork that'll be your own, unique to you and not like somebody else's, whether it's somebody else's in the room or my example, one of your friends. I want you being creative and making your own unique artwork this year.